Hello friends! Welcome to Squaird Plans, where creative planning and organization comes to life. I'm Stephanie, and today we're going to be talking about my archiving system for my old Discbound planners. Thought I'd just kind of show you guys what I've decided to do and how I'm managing my archive. So if that sounds good, let's jump in. Just a brief overview of my actual planner setup. The way that I plan, I have 5 different planners in my catch-all planner that I use on a daily basis, and I only keep a month at a time from each of those planners in my planner setup. So that's what I work off of. You can kind of see I have it nice and organized here. If you want to know more about my setup, there's a couple of videos on my channel that will give you all the deets. But anyway, so I have this kind of customized Franken planner setup, and I then take the individual planners that I'm planning out of and keep them in their own planners, basically on a shelf. So this is an example of the one I'm working out of now for my health planner for 2023. It has just some old dividers in here that I reuse each year. I created them myself. It keeps the months separated for my inserts that I insert in and out of this planner each month. So I just do a little change out each month, and then this sits on the shelf and I don't look at it, and I work only out of this planner. So that said, when I get to the end of the year, this will be completely filled with all of my completed spreads and planner, basically all the planner items. So the next step for me to do is actually to put that into archive and move on to the next year. So I've developed a new system basically for just trying to minimalize the planners themselves and keep them from getting too bulky on my shelf, which I'll show you guys a sample of how I just have them on the shelf here. So the main idea was to, one, shrink the discs down into a smaller format if possible, because you can see there's plenty of space still on a full year's worth of discs. So shrinking them down should eliminate some of that extra bulk and space on my shelf. And then secondly, a lot of times I really like to reuse the covers that I've grabbed from the Happy Planner in the past. So what I decided to do was just to start creating a cover booklet, basically, or Discbound cover archive. And that way I could keep all of the different covers that I really want to, have at my disposal at any time of the year in case I want to change out my planner cover, or, even to sometimes when I'm building out my planner setup at the beginning of the year, it's nice to have some colors and variety similar to the one I just showed you here, where the one I'm using for the year is nice. It's got the metal discs, it's got the matching cover, and I know that this is my health planner for the year versus the archive planners, which you'll see in a minute, which are a little bit more uniform and also a little more condensed, like I said before. So this is a great place to just go to pick the covers for the next year's individual planners, since I don't really buy Happy Planners that much anymore. I tend to use mainly my own inserts. So having these at my disposal is really nice because then I don't have to create covers every year for the individual planners. I can just grab some of these and make them work. So this is how I'm storing them. They're on some discs that I tried to DIY a little while ago, and so they're a little bit sticky. But yeah, I just thought this was a nice way to have it all at my hand when I'm doing my planner setup and line up in the beginning of the year. So that said, let's talk about what I actually ended up doing with the end of the year planner. So I take this planner here and say, like I said, it's the end of the year. I actually will remove the cover. I'll remove all of the dividers and just leave the individual monthly inserts in there. So have that. If there's any annual pages, I'll keep those in there as well. So usually at the end of the year, I'll stick the annual pages in here since they live in my catch-all. And then, like I said, strip out the discs, the covers, and the dividers. So it's just the inserts for the year. And then I do a kind of DIY solution to make this work. I've taken the Dollar Tree clear cover DIY hack that I showed recently on my channel. I thought this is a really economical way to create a nice frosted cover. So I decided to buy these in bulk. So not from the Dollar Tree, because the Dollar Tree size that you get for the chopping mats, sorry if I hadn't mentioned that, these are actually chopping mats from the Dollar Tree that you turn into frosted covers. So these are the ones from Dollar Tree, and they are a little bit short to do a full cover on one chopping mat. So you need to take both chopping mats and cut them down in order to make a Happy Planner classic size. So I thought that was kind of wasteful because you're really only getting one cover out of one package of two, and looked onto Amazon and found a bulk solution where you can get pretty much the same type of plastic chopping mat at a larger size and in bulk. So I'll have that link down below, the one I actually use for my archive planners. I purposely looked for the 15-inch wide version of the chopping mat with enough height to cover. I think this needs to be at least 7.5 inches high. So 15 wide, so that will cover the 7.5 inches. And then you just cut it down to 9.75 inch width for the classic Happy Planner. So the chopping mat would technically be like this, cut in half, and then, right? No, I was right the first time. See, the chopping mat would be like this, cut in half. So it'd be 15 inches wide. Sorry, confusing myself here. So 15 inches this way, and then you only have to cut it right in half to get that 7.5 inch mark, which is what I thought would be the most economical way to do it. So that's what I ended up looking for on Amazon, and found the package of 10 that, again, I'll have linked down below to make my archive covers. So I've only done 10 different covers for my archive, and as you can see too, I have a few more left to do, but I just left the Happy Planner covers on for now, and I'll do those ones in another batch. It is a little bit time consuming to make them, but it's nice just to have them all look so uniform. So that's one of the bigger things. And if you want to know how to DIY this setup here using the chopping mats, I will link that video below in the description and in the cards as well. So I have that. I also decided to grab these off of Amazon, which are these smaller clear discs. So these are actually only 1-inch discs, and you can buy them in sets of 100, which I thought was a really great price. And you know, you have 9 discs on a classic Happy Planner, so that will get you basically 9 planners, or 10 planners almost, with one left over. Yeah, 10 planners with one left over. 11 planners with one left over. Let me think about that. Yeah, 99. Okay. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. Yes, 11 planners with one left over out of each package. So if you want to kind of do this same technique, you can grab, the 100 of these discs. And again, it was really reasonable. I think they were under $10. They will be linked down below, and hopefully the price hasn't changed since I bought them in the beginning of the year. But I really love that they're just nice and simple and minimal and clean, and they fit a full year's worth of inserts. Just perfect, not too big, not too small. I actually print my inserts on HP 32-pound paper, which is a little bit heavier than the Happy Planner standard paper that you get from their planners. However, there are no dividers with the cardstock, so that does eliminate a little bit of the bulk and kind of makes it about even if you were using a standard Happy Planner versus inserts on that type of paper. So they work out really great, and I use stickers pretty much on all of the spreads. So, as far as bulking it up, there's stickers and stuff in here too, and they still fit nicely. And so I may individually add a cover to these at some point. I decided to put in a piece of black cardstock just in the back to kind of close out the page. But on the front of most of my planners, I have the annual pages, which have this nice yearly cover page. So that might be enough for me to keep these all organized. The next step I might add on is actually labeling these somehow with what type of planner they are. Since I do have different planners for different features, I have a faith, health, what I call my daily or my everyday planner, budget, social. So it would be nice to have that because a lot of times I'm using my own inserts. But for now, I have them organized on the shelf, and to the point where I need that, I kind of know the way they're organized, which shelf holds which type of planner. Okay, so that's something I wanted to touch on. And again, I think that this is a really good deal if you want to preserve the discs that you had on your planners, year after year. So that was one thing I was finding was an issue, is that I had all of my planners on Happy Planner discs, some of them that I liked, but I wasn't buying more Happy Planners. So I started running out of discs to use, and some of them I thought would be nice to use on other planners, like my active planner for the year. Similar to this, these purple metal discs with this cover, I had to kind of grab these out from an older set of archived planners in order to get them, because they were already being used like from a year before. So if you want to reuse those type of items, it's nice to have something that's a little bit more generic, a little bit more uniform too, and smaller for those archive situations where you want to grab out those covers and discs and such. Sorry if I'm rambling a little bit, but yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's just nice to have them all at once, having all those covers and all those discs available if you are printing your own inserts. This is a nice way to make those available and give you more options if you really like the colors and the variety that you have in your current disc stash. That said, this is how I'm archiving them this year. So I just made those DIY covers. Again, I was able to make 10 from the package that I got on Amazon. It did take a little while. Mainly, the cutting wasn't so bad because, you only have to cut it in half perfectly, the 15-inch size for classic. So if you are looking for a big or a mini, do research a little bit on what size you would need to minimize your effort. So, just a simple cut down the middle would be great, and minimize also your waste of plastic, which is nice too. So, and then all you really need, like I said, I have a video explaining exactly how to do this cover setup, but really all you need is a power punch or something that has a decent enough disc punch to go through these heavier plastic type materials. Happy Planner punches don't normally fit the bill. So if you have something more like an ARC planner punch, which is a little bit more heavy duty, or the Levenger, I think, has one, those could work, although those have a smaller hole size here, so it's a lot closer to the edge and a little bit more flimsy. But if that's what you have, that should work just fine. But I really highly suggest this tool if you're going to do any DIY projects with a Discbound planner. And this is from We Are Memory Keepers. It's their disc power punch, which I will also link down below. So that's it. That's pretty much how I'm archiving my planners. It's a way to condense down my stash and make things a little bit just more, just a little neater, a little tighter, and also frees up more space for me to, store more items, but also gives me the freedom to grab those discs and covers that I really like. So that's the way I'm using it. I know I've had a few questions on it, so I just thought I'd touch on that and explain my current setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also, too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch, and think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and we will see you next time. Bye.